What's good, big timers? It's RDL here, and today I'm going to be talking about this movie called Fun Size. Before the video starts, if you are new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notifications for more videos, and let's get into it. So starting off, we get introduced to the main character named Wren, who dreams of going to New York University after she graduates high school, which is the same college that her late father went to. She lives at home with her little brother Albert. He doesn't talk and likes to play practical jokes on people. They also live with their single mother named Joy. She's still mourning the death of her husband and is dating a 26-year-old. Wren has two friends. One of them is named April and is very obsessed with her social status. Her other friend is named Roosevelt. He's a nerd just like Wren and secretly has a crush on her. While demonstrating her cringy rap song and dance moves to her friends, a dude named Aaron Riley spots them and invites them to his Halloween party that's happening later on at night. To prepare for the party, Wren dresses up as Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. At the last minute, Wren is forced to take her brother Albert trick-or-treating while her mom goes to a Halloween party with her boyfriend. While going to a haunted house, Wren and April meet up with Roosevelt and his friend Payne. While talking to them, Albert wanders off and Wren has a hard time finding him. Meanwhile, Wren's mom arrives at the party with her boyfriend, and it turns out to be a bit more than she expected. Albert goes to a store to buy a slushie, and a cashier named Fuzzy recognizes him from an arcade where he's a pro at playing Super Mario Kart. Albert gets the slushie, then leaves. Fuzzy gets inspired by a bunch of random kids to get revenge on his ex-girlfriend named Laura for leaving him with another dude named Oregon. While putting supplies in his car, he sees that Albert is sitting outside the store drinking his slushie. Fuzzy convinces Albert to help him prank his ex in exchange for free Funyun chips for the rest of his life. Meanwhile, Wren and April are still looking for Albert. Wren asks Roosevelt if he could drive them around and help find Albert. He agrees to do so, but he has to convince his two moms to let him. Roosevelt tried to convince his two moms to let him have the car for the night, but he was unsuccessful at doing so. But he did manage to steal their car keys and sneak off with the car as long as he drove carefully without causing damage. Meanwhile, Fuzzy goes to his ex-girlfriend's house to cover it with toilet paper, but it quickly backfires because he entered the wrong window of the apartment and accidentally caused a small fire that he quickly put out. He gets manhandled by a random couple. While Fuzzy was getting manhandled, he gave Albert the keys to the car so he could wait for him to escape the apartment. Albert sees Fuzzy's car getting towed with his candy basket inside, so he snuck inside the car. Fuzzy escapes from the apartment only to see his car getting towed with Albert in the backseat. Wren and her friends are still searching for Albert. Wren suggests that they look for him at a fast food chicken place. The four of them get stuck in traffic because the car temporarily stopped working. They found themselves getting into it with two high school bullies. They managed to get away from them after the car finally started back up. Albert got himself a bucket of fried chicken and he almost gets ran over by Wren and her friends, but a random college girl named Denise saves him just in time. Like, seriously, how did they not see him? She takes Albert with her to a party so he doesn't be out in the streets by himself. Wren and her friends are at the chicken place that Albert was just at a few seconds ago. While looking for him, they encounter the high school bullies again. They try to escape, but they end up damaging the car in the process. Payne gets out of the car to challenge one of them to a duel. He has a pistol that's from the 1800s, while the bully just has a drumstick. Roosevelt taught Payne out during a duel, and while Payne was just about to put his gun away, it goes off and hits the bully's drumstick. He starts panicking and crying because he thought he got shot, but the other bully calmed him down and told him he didn't get shot. The bullies left the chicken place before the cops showed up. During all of this, Wren sees that April left to go to Aaron Riley's Halloween party like she originally planned to. Albert is at a Halloween party with Denise dancing and having fun. Albert gets his candy basket stolen by Oregon, and Albert recognized him because he remembers how Fuzzy described who he looked like. Wren's mother tries to find a bathroom so she could get away from the party for a little bit, but she unknowingly ends up in the parents' bedroom. They were pretty cool about it, and they offered her some tea. Meanwhile, Wren, Roosevelt, and Payne are still searching for Albert, and Wren gets a call from April telling her that Albert is at Aaron Riley's party. Fuzzy has also been around for Albert with his ex, but he also had no luck. He goes to the chicken place and learns that Albert was there earlier, but he left. Oregon makes fun of Fuzzy and throws Albert's candy basket at him. Albert is in the backseat of Oregon's car and is planning on getting revenge on him for stealing his candy. Wren, Roosevelt, and Payne arrive at Aaron Riley's party to find Albert, but it turns out that April lied just to get Wren at the party. Meanwhile, Wren's mother has a little tea party with her boyfriend's parents, and while they were having a conversation, she admitted that she misses her husband a lot and feels lonely and struggles to raise her kids by herself. She also says that she'll feel more lonely when Wren moves to New York City to go to college and run track. After admitting these things out loud, she decides that she wants to go home to be with her kids. Wren calls the house phone to see if Albert had possibly went home, but there was no answer. Oregon finally arrived at his own house. Albert gets out of the back seat of his car and Fuzzy finally caught up to him. The two of them agreed to pull a prank on Oregon for what he did to both of them. The prank goes well, but Albert's costume gets stuck on something and he ends up getting captured by Oregon. Wren calls the police to see if Albert got arrested but has no luck. April apologizes to Wren and they make up. Aaron Riley sings a song for Wren, asking her to be his girlfriend. The two of them were about to kiss, and Roosevelt leaves the party so he doesn't watch. Wren stops at the last second and doesn't kiss Aaron Riley because she no longer has feelings for him and now has feelings for Roosevelt. She tried to chase after Roosevelt, but he already left the party. Wren gets a phone call from Oregon who tells her that he has Albert and he demands $400 or else he'll turn Albert over to the police. She also gets a text message from her mom that she's on her way home. Wren runs all the way to Oregon's house to get Albert back. Wren's mom returns home and sees that her and Albert are not back from trick-or-treating. Wren arrives at Oregon's house and notices that he's a huge fan of the Beastie Boys. She revealed to him that her late father was a sound engineer in New York and helped produce one of the albums of the Beastie Boys. The jacket that she's wearing also happens to be Mike D's jacket. She tries to get Oregon the jacket in exchange for Albert, but he takes the jacket and tries to kick her out of his house and call the police on Albert. Fuzzy throws a brick through Oregon's window and throws a lot of firecrackers in the house to distract them. Wren finds Albert, and just before they leave, Albert gets the jacket back from Oregon and they all leave. To distract the police, Fuzzy runs around the streets naked. Meanwhile, Roosevelt explains to his two moms that he damaged their car and that he'll pay for the damage to the car. He also tells them that he blew his chance with Wren, and they tell him that he should just tell her how he feels about her. Roosevelt notices that Wren left a voicemail thanking him for everything he did and wished that things turned out differently. Wren takes Albert to visit their dad's gravesite. While they were visiting, Albert finally spoke and tells Wren thank you. When they're about to leave, their mom finds them and happily gave them a ride home. Roosevelt waits outside Wren's house and caresses his love for her. The two of them finally kiss each other. April and Pang hooked up with each other. Fuzzy starts hanging out with Denise, the college girl that saved Albert from getting ran over. Wren's mother finally signs the application for Wren to go to college in New York. Albert uploads an embarrassing video to Wren's Facebook page where she was trying to demonstrate a rap song and her dance moves to her friends earlier in the movie. Albert also revealed that he was prank calling his mom and his sister for 6 months. I think this movie is pretty below average. The whole movie is pretty boring to me, in my opinion. Most of the humor in this movie is pretty dry. This movie feel like it was made for 14-year-olds. I remember wanting to see this movie so bad as a kid, mainly because Victoria Justice was in it. I remember they advertised this movie a lot when I was a kid watching Nickelodeon. When I finally watched it for the first time after many years of wanting to see it, I was a bit disappointed. The only two good things I can say about this movie is that it's pretty nostalgic and it definitely has the early 2010s vibe, and because Victoria Justice was in it. Victoria honestly deserves to star in better movies because most of the movies that she stars in nowadays are extremely uninteresting and not memorable at all. She's a very talented actress, and her talent is sadly getting wasted, and hopefully at some point she gets a breakthrough. This movie was made on a $14 million budget, which I find that pretty hard to believe because this movie felt like it was made on a $2 million budget. It was released on October 26th in 2012, and it only made $11.4 million at the box office, which is pretty bad for a $14 million budget movie. It's also the lowest grossing Nickelodeon film that was ever released in theaters. It also has a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was rated 5 out of 10 on IMDb. This movie also has a lot of mixed reviews. Half the people like it and half the people don't like it. This movie was also released on DVD 4 months later in February of 2013. And a little fun fact, according to IMDb, this movie was Nickelodeon's attempt to appeal to a mature audience and was made for 90s fans who have grown up watching Nickelodeon. Now, what 90s fan of Nickelodeon is gonna watch this movie? I bet most of the 90s fans of Nickelodeon don't even know who Victoria Justice is, unless they have little siblings, nephews, or nieces that watch Victorious. I bet most of the 90s fans will fall asleep watching this movie, and I can't blame them either because I kind of almost did too. This movie does not look like something that a 90s fan will watch at all. But anyways, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button and comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Bust down, new flash, touchdown in a brand new jag. Every day there's a brand new chain, understand what they